Hey everyone, it's Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard, and today I've been putting together a nice presentation on a lot of the things that I really love about UFT, but not quite done with it. So this is just a little sample of that. If you like what you see in this video, you can follow me over on Twitter and check out me at the Dark Arts Wizard. But today what I really wanted to show you was something that I've been wondering about for quite some time. And that is, does the way we call a function affect the speed of execution in UFT? And in order to kind of show you what this does, is I'm going to show you a little timey function. I'm going to show you some of the code over here. Actually, I'm going to show you all the code. The timey function is going to go through and create some executable code, and it will set a timer and tell us how long something took to run. And in this case, I'm going to execute the timey function, and then I'm going to go print out the word, some text, and print complete, and exit my test. So if I give this a nice little run over here, then we kind of see that it very quickly, just almost immediately completed. So it typed out test complete, timey started, timey print ended, and it took about 1/100th of a second to complete, which isn't all that interesting for a demo, very much like this. So let's do this again, except instead of doing this, I'm going to go take a look at one of the things that I've been curious about, which is there a difference between the way we call a function? And as far as I can tell, there's 4 different ways we call a function. Now, in my code, I have this nice little function called test, and it is printing out the overhead of calling a function. And I am going to get rid of these guys here because I want to execute the timey for 4 different ways of calling this function. Here's test. It has no parameters being added to it, so I'm going to call it without the parentheses, with the parentheses. I'm going to use the call statement to call the function, and I'm also going to use the call statement to call my function with parentheses and see if there's any difference in there. Now, as you notice, it went very quickly and only giving me one hundredth of a second to execute this. So in order to show this off, I'm going to change one of my settings. I'm going to go under Tools, go to Options, and under GUI Testing Test Runs, I've got it set at running at fast mode. I'm going to leave it at normal, mostly because I like to see where my code is actually executing through. It runs a little bit slower, gives you a little bit of overhead, sure, but it does give you a little bit more information if you happen to take a screen capture and your window and your application happen to be on the same screen. You can actually see where your code was executing. If something blew up or something was going wrong, it gives you a little bit more information. So I like to run it in that kind of slower mode. Let's clear out this screen, and I'm going to give it a run and see what kind of information we get. All right, here I am doing the call for test, and let's just bring up the code so we can take a look at it. Here is my first one. I'm calling test just without any parentheses. And if I do that, it takes 0.77 seconds to execute. However, if I called it with the parentheses, it actually executes faster at 0.53 seconds. Now here's one thing I could not believe. So a call test. This call takes about 0.29 seconds to execute. And for a long time, I've been leaving off the call because, like, no, nobody does that. Turns out, if you actually call a function without any parameters with parentheses and the call statement, it takes about 0.07 seconds to execute. I never knew that my own coding style was actually causing my test scripts to slow down. So, this has been Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard, kind of showing you the way you write your code. It can actually have an impact on how fast things execute. Like I said, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and check out the Automation Guild by Joe Colantonio. You can find me and Joe talking together at testtalks.com, and it is the interview number 103. To check it out if you kind of like this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy a lot of the other stuff that we talk about there. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.